I'm Katie, this is Bolito, and my handler Brianna, and today we're going to talk about restraints. There are 3 classifications of restraints. There's verbal, chemical, and physical. For verbal restraints, what you can do is you have a really nervous horse, then you can use like a nice, gentle, calm voice to kind of settle him down, try and calm him down a little bit. Or if you have a really fractious horse, one that's not really paying attention to you, you can use a stern word, a stern tone of voice to kind of get their attention, say, hey, pay attention to me. The chemical restraints, there are 3 different drugs that we can use. There's ACE, Rompin, and Ditomidine. You would use these drugs if you need to sedate the horse for a little bit longer period of time, kind of relax them, keep them calm. You would use that first clipping, maybe the farrier, or if you're loading a horse that doesn't like to be loaded into a trailer. What I'm going to demonstrate for you today is our manual restraints. The most basic form of manual or physical restraint is the halter and lead rope, like what Bree has here. You never want to do anything with a horse or handle a horse without a halter and lead rope in place, because that can put you or the horse in a dangerous situation. There's also a rope halter, which is a little bit more severe than just your nylon or your leather halter. You'd use that for a horse that is a little harder to handle, when you really need to kind of get their attention. Now, if you want to use something other than just a normal lead shank, you can use what's called a chain shank. This would be used if you're leading a horse to turnout that gets really excited. He might be kind of rude to work with on the ground, and this is just going to get his attention a little bit better than just the noseband on the halter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chain and I'm going to run it from the outside to the inside here on this piece of hardware by his nose. Then I'm going to go down so I can loop it over the noseband once, working this slack through. Then I'm going to come from the inside to the outside on this piece of hardware, and I'm going to take the clip all the way up to this ring here by his eye, and I'm going to clip it with the pointy edge of the clip facing out away so it's not jabbing his cheek. Then I'm going to take the slack out of the chain, and I'm just going to hold it, both hands on the rope. I don't want to hold onto the chain because if he pulls away, that can hurt my hand. Like I said, this would be just kind of an attention getter for your horse. You can kind of pull on it a little bit, and you want to make sure you wrap it around the noseband, just like that, so that it doesn't slip down his nose while you're walking him and hurt the sensitive part of the nose down there by his nostrils. The next restraint that I'm going to talk about is the lip chain. What you're going to do with the lip chain is run it through the same pieces of hardware as you did for the chain shank, but you're not going to loop it over the noseband. So again, I'm going to clip it up here by his eye with the clasp facing away from his face so it's not poking him. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the slack out of the chain. I'm just going to slip it right there in his gums, all the while pulling down with my right hand so that it's nice and snug there on his gums. You never want to pull up with the chain shank or with the lip chain, because he can lift his head higher than I can lift my arm, and he can get away from me that way. So you're always going to pull just a steady, constant pressure down when you have that lip chain on there. You never want to jerk with the lip chain, because that can be really painful on the gums. Instead of a chain, some people like to use a lip twine. They might think that the chain is a little bit too severe. So what you would do with the lip twine is you would just tie it up here in the ring where you clipped the chain, tie it up there, feed it through the same pieces of hardware like you did the chain, and then again just hold the loose end of the twine here in your right hand, feed it up onto his gums, and again pull down, knot up. Now with the lip chain and the lip twine, you never want to tie your horse. You never want to tie your horse with the chain over their nose, because if they were to pull back while they were tied, then they can deglove their face or really damage this part of their nose right here, because that chain is really kind of harsh. Also with the twine or the lip chain, you're never going to lead a horse or tie a horse, again, just because that's a lot of pressure on those sensitive gums. You'd use the lip chain for procedures such as clipping a horse's ears, maybe around his eyes or his legs. Just any time that you need a little bit of distraction for that horse, if you're doing a procedure that's a little bit uncomfortable and you need something to take his mind off of it. Next one I'm going to talk about is the twitch. This here is a long-handled rope twitch. Some twitches have a loop here made of chain instead of rope. The chain holds onto the horse's lip a little bit better, but it's also a little bit more severe. So we like to use the rope here. There's also what's called a humane twitch. The humane twitch looks like a piece of, a set of pliers with a little opening for the lip. You put that lip in the opening and then wrap the cord or the rope around the handle to keep it snug onto their lip. And then you use a clip and clip it up here to their halter. A lot of vets like to use the humane twitch instead of the long-handled twitch because they don't have to worry about a handler letting go of the twitch. It is really important when using a twitch that whoever is applying the twitch is very competent and is not going to let go of the twitch, because if the horse were to fling his head and the person were to lose their grip on the handle, then the twitch then becomes a weapon and the horse is flailing around and he can damage himself with this handle or he can damage you or your handler. So it's really important that you never let go of the twitch while you're using it. So what you're going to do when you're applying the twitch is you're going to put the handle under your arm so it's nice and secure. You're going to put 4 fingers through the twitch. You don't want to put your entire hand through because then it can slip down your arm and be really hard to apply. So you're going to keep 1 finger out to kind of help that stay in place so it's easier to apply. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to grab a nice big piece of the horse's lip, slip the rope over that lip, and then start twisting. Again, keeping the handle under your arm. You're going to twist it nice and tight so that the horse can't get his lip out. You want it to be tight enough that he's not going to be able to get his lip out. And then when you release the twitch, you're going to hold onto the horse's lip and then give their lip a little rub, tell them they're very good, and just kind of reward them for handling that well. There's 3 different stages of the twitch. The first 3 to 5 minutes of application is called the distraction phase. That's where the horse is kind of paying attention to the thing that's on his nose. He's really distracted from whatever it is you're doing. Then 10 to 15 minutes into application is the analgesia phase, which is where endorphins are released into the horse's blood, and that area is kind of numb, and he's kind of in a happy place. He's not really paying attention to what's going on. Then about 12 to 15 minutes after application is what's called the blow or the pain stage. If the twitch is on for this long, then the horse begins to feel a great deal of pain on his nose, and he can react really violently. So it's really important that you take the twitch off before he reaches that blow stage. Otherwise, it's going to be a really bad experience for both him and you and your handler. You would use a twitch for situations that need a little bit longer time of restraint. So if you had to clip his whole face maybe, or his legs, something that would take about 10 minutes you would use a twitch for. All right, next I'm going to talk about the shoulder roll. What you would use a shoulder roll for is just a very quick procedure, such as taking blood or giving an injection, just something very quick. What you're going to do is you're going to take a roll of the horse's skin right here next to their shoulder, and you're just going to grab onto it and press into him a little bit. See how we took that step there? It's really good if you do this while your horse is next to a wall. That way, when you do this, he can't just keep walking sideways away from you, but you have something there to kind of block him. Like I said, this would be something that you would do really quick because you can't hold it for a very long time because your hand is going to start hurting. You're not going to be able to hold on to him for that long. And so again, something just quick like an injection or drawing blood. Lastly, what I'm going to talk about is the leg lift. You're going to use a leg lift if you have to clip a horse's leg and he keeps picking it up. He's kind of fidgety, he doesn't like what you're doing, or if you need to, say, take a horse's x-ray and he keeps moving that foot around, then you can pick up one of his legs to keep that foot still for the vet. Now, if I want to keep his right front leg on the ground, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up his left front leg. I'm just going to pick it up just like I was cleaning his feet, except I'm going to use both hands so it's a little bit more secure. Just pick it up just like that, and that's going to help him keep that right front leg on the ground. Now, if I needed to keep his hind left leg on the ground, I'm going to pick up his front left leg again, just like I showed you. But the reason I'm not going to pick up his right front leg to keep his hind left leg on the ground is because a horse can stand on diagonal pairs. So if I were to pick up that right front, he could still pick up that left hind and balance just fine on his other 2 legs. You never ever want to pick up a horse's hind leg in a leg lift because that just makes it easier for them to kick out. and it's just a bad idea. And you always want to remember when you're doing a leg lift that if the horse really wants to put that foot down, he will, and he's a lot stronger than you, so you're not going to be able to keep him from putting that foot down. These are our basic manual restraints that we use here at William Woods.